Hello everybody and welcome to another community fortress. This one was sent in on the Discord by Hippo, and it goes by the name of Citycloaks. Now Citycloaks is a fortress that has stood for 100 years, and you know, as somebody who built Long Death, I do like to kind of show off these older fortresses, and I myself would like to do another 100-year fortress in the future, but more on that later. This little fortress here, the Fortress of Citycloaks, is a member of the Oil of Mornings and the Constructive Wheels. If you yourself would like to send in a fortress for me to have a peek at on this series, you can do that via my Discord. There's a link down in the description. In that Discord, there's a room called DF Save Sharing. In that room, you can set up or zip a folder with the save of your choice that you wish to share with that room. Take a couple screenshots of your fortress and a brief description and let me know that it's okay to use in a video, and I will do my best to take a look at it. Keep in mind, if you're using a lot of mods, it is unlikely that I will be able to load it unless you include the mods folder. I have had some luck loading some mods, but it generally just causes it to crash on load and then not work. So if you're using a bunch of mods, please include the mod folder alongside of the save, just so that I have the highest likelihood of being able to look at it. Now, let's dive in. Also, of course, if you would like to see this in Stone Sense, simply wait until the very end of the video, where I will do my best to show a couple screenshots of the fortress in Stone Sense. Now that we've made it down to the surface, I just want to show off the first thing that really caught my eye about this fortress. Look at this beautiful thingy! It's glorious! It's pretty! I like it! Look at this bird. To me, I would assume that this is a rock or something. If this is an image of a particular bird, I would recommend just putting a little engraving on its eye of what bird it is in your head canon. Then we have these big ol' these log walls, which I never realized this, but are you building underneath? Yeah, okay, so you're building underneath very large trees. That is an interesting way of keeping trees alive. I just gotta say, that's a really neat way of keeping these large trees. As for the fortress itself, they kind of give us a little bit of a brief overview. They say they've watched Dwarf Fortress on and off for years, and they were inspired by Long Death and other forts, and they wanted to just see how long a fort could last, and made a ton of mistakes along the journey and fought off varied enemies such as goblins, aquifers, cavern dwellers, giant birds, and FPS. Against all odds, the fortress stands tall, and planned future projects include obsidian spires, world domination, and giant elephant war beasts, and giant elephant war beasts if the elves will ever bring me a male one. So it sounds like they've got a single elephant, and the first thing I really want to kind of show off now that we've seen that is look at this road. So this is a very, very, very dense forest, meaning it's hard for visitors to get in and out, especially trade caravans. So there's this big old bridge that goes up and over the forests and then into the fortress this way, which is kind of neat. And then there's like this multi-stage set of roads and entryways and walkways and things, all completely set up with battlements, which is pretty badass looking if you ask me, alongside of this little mist generator on the front door area. So as they go down into the ramps area here, or go to enter the fortress, I would assume via right here. Yes, so they walk down, and then maybe I thought that this connected to these, but I guess not. Anyway, there is a mist generator there for some reason. But over here, there's this kind of main entryway stairwell going down into here. It looks like there's diplomacy, so I will just pause the game a little bit. We have this big old statue hall all the way along here, filled with these stray giant orioles, which are cool as heck looking. Like their coloration, I haven't actually seen those in game yet, so the coloration of those look awesome. As well as this giant cougar, which I've actually had in old fortresses way back, but never in this version. We have several different hallways and walkways. Because of the age of this fort, I do expect there to be rooms like this that I just don't understand, that have no logical reason to be there, because that just tends to happen with old forts. Down here is a very large coffin zone, kind of dedicated to all of the dwarves that will never wake again, and then this little room over here. Looks very pretty. Nice place to properly respect the dead, and then as we follow the main staircase down a little bit, we start encountering some fun layers, including this one, which is a, we've got another mist generator right here going down into this kind of area, and this stairwell just keeps going down. So let's follow this stairwell as it also goes all the way up to just below the surface over here, and appears to be the one that goes through a lot of the more main rooms. So here we have this very large, beautiful library. It's this beautiful microcline blue, one of my favorite materials in the game. Fun fact about microcline: if you encounter old players who talk mad diss tracks about microcline, it's because in the old version of the game, microcline for a bit there was so bright it would hurt people's eyes, just the coloration of it on the old ASCII, so they actually had to change the color of it ever so slightly. So if you ever see like people that are like weirdly against ASCII, they probably just, or weirdly against microcline specifically, it's probably because they've just played the game since like 2009 and remember the era of it being such a eye-splinteringly bright color. Needed a sip of water. So as we scroll down through this, we can see a bunch of bedrooms in here, as well as some guild halls. And we can move down a little ways. We can see some spaces. Lots and lots and lots of these birds everywhere. Those probably aren't great for frames, but lots of cobwebs in this room. Makes me wonder, do you have automatic looming turned off? Because this is just like weirdly full of cobwebs, considering like there is a dwarf in here, so it's not like it's completely abandoned, although it does have kind of a nice aesthetic to it. Anyway, the king is here, and that's the king's area. And then down here we have a little temple, as well as some other small spaces, and then this little control room for this spot right here. Of course, there's some clothing scattered around. Then over here we have the barricaded garlic, which sounds like the most anti-vampire propaganda I've ever seen as a tavern. Right next to it is this little constructive banner. More coffins, of course. More coffins. Partying in the coffin layer. You gotta love it. Then we can move down a layer, and you can see more bedrooms, more spaces, and some crafting around the edges. Down here we have like, your farmer's workshop and your kitchens and your stills. And then down here is this little walkway that goes over here that is a little bit bloody. Does make me kind of wonder what you're getting up to over here. Lots of goblin blood. Sacrifice chamber or something? I respect it. And then underneath the goblin blood layer is this very, very deep hole with even more blood. And even more blood. Very, very concerning for the goblin society that locally lives here. And as a member of the Green Boys, I gotta say that is kind of terrifying. Not really. And then right here is a way off the side of the map, I assume. For somebody, maybe you're letting visitors leave that way. I know visitors can leave through the caverns, so perhaps that's what that is. Then down here we have a giant masked lovebird, which is tame, beautiful, as well as 2 stray giant Americans, also awesome looking. And then right here we have 2 stray giant tortoises. Fun fact, there's that bug with giant echidnas just completely breaking. Or not giant echidnas, but undead echidnas, because they go into that shell form and then never come out of it, and then they just cause problems for your game because they are unkillable. Well, fun fact, I once lost an entire military because I fell asleep trying to kill a giant undead tortoise. Yeah, they fell asleep and then it bit them all to death. It was very sad. A very large area has been dug out here. And then we can go down a little bit, and then there's even more area that's been dug out here, and then we can just kind of keep going down, and then there's ramps going down, and even more stuff going down, as well as stairs going down, and then over here there's this kind of interesting, like, garbage dump zone over top of this lava hole here, because there's lava at the bottom of this. But also, there's this big old bridge going across, which goes up into the fortress on that side, and then down into the caverns on this side in 2 different locations, which goes down to the caverns right there, which hasn't fully connected. And then this one on this side, where is it? This one on this side, which goes down to here, which can also, forge stuff using the lava. Keep in mind, lava-safe creatures could crawl through this, unless there's, like, something to block them. So keep that in mind. Bit of a liability there. And then that's about as deep as that side goes. And then the other side, like I said, goes down even further. And it just kind of keeps going down. Then we have these stairs that go down to the magma sea here. Lots of different stairwells and ways down and ways up. I got to say, I think my favorite part of this particular fortress is the surface. And just this beautiful image of a giant bird on the ground. Like, that is cool. I would wall this whole thing off and make a big ol', I don't know, outdoor area or something and fill it up with visitors. They do state that that they do have some future projects, including giant obsidian spires and things that they want to work on. So curious to see what this fortress looks like when you are done with it. And good luck with keeping a fortress alive for so long. Something I will note, if you stop getting migrants and you would like to keep getting migrants, if you load this save up in a version of the game with dfhack and use the command /fix death something or another, it's one of the recommended ones. It clears the list of dead units over on this screen, because if this screen hits 3,000, you will just stop getting migrants forever. So if you would like to continue getting migrants, just definitely check that out. It just removes everything that doesn't have a name, so that all these stray dogs and whatnot don't clog it up and count as citizens. But awesome fortress. I don't really have too much to say outside of that. Very happy dwarves. It just looks lovely. So I'm looking forward to seeing updates on this one. Thank you very much for submitting the Fortress Hippo. If you would like to see more videos like this, there's a growing playlist on the YouTube channel. And if you would like to support my channel directly, you can do that either via Patreon or via my brand new merch store. There's a link to that down in the description as well as some of the merch pieces on screen currently. If you stick around for another couple seconds, you'll see a few screenshots of this fortress running in StoneSense. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.